Good morning, and thanks for joining us this Thursday morning. I'll call the meeting to order at 8:33. Has the board had a chance to review our minutes from the last meeting?
Yes, we have, and I make a motion that we accept the minutes as presented.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
The minutes are approved, seeing no department heads or committees. Mr. Mastria, we have a public hearing scheduled for, is it 8:30, Randy? Okay.
Good morning, Rick.
We will get to that in just a moment. Thank you, Deb.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, public hearings. We have one public hearing on auto carriers, and that was a continuation from last week. Mr. Master, we asked you to join us today. All your counterparts were with us last week. We wanted to remind you of the board's intentions to aggressively enforce any car carriers being parked for the purposes of unloading on 44. We've spoke to Chief Donovan as well of the police department and informed him of our intentions, and we will be enforcing that. It's a caveat of your auto dealer's license, and we know that we've entered into correspondence with you and all the other dealers in the past, and so the board felt, based on recent complaints, that it was necessary to bring all auto dealers in. This isn't meant to target you in particular, but to bring all auto dealers in and remind them of the board's desire for this to be enforced and enforced aggressively. Mr. Shivel, anything to add to that?
Yes, one thing that was mentioned at the meeting, Rick, was one of the car dealers mentioned that some of these deliveries, they don't really have any direct control over them. They come in, and so what was suggested is that when an independent deliverer comes in and they are blocking the road or making it difficult for traffic, just advise them of the bylaw, and if they don't comply, you've done what you can do, and the best thing in that case would just simply be to put a call into the police and let them enforce the bylaw. This way, it takes you guys off the hook who are doing your best to comply, and sometimes you don't have the authority over the independent driver that you or we would like. So in that case, I would advise them, and if they don't comply, just simply notify the police, and they'll take care of the bylaw, and it'll deal with the resident complaints that have been received in Town Hall. So that would be a good way to deal with it.
Well, just for the record, just so that you, I think you probably already know this, but if you don't, in both cases where I have the two dealerships that are the Buick GMC and Cadillac and the Mazda, we've made it so, I bought the property back on Brookside Circle, so we've directed all our deliveries to come down Brookside Circle and unload down back there, bring the cars in that way. And then when we built the Nissan and the Subaru store, I intentionally purchased and have an entry that says, it's written there, truck entrance on Hill Street. So they come behind on the corner there and drive onto our property and unload there. So we've told them all, we encourage it, we designed it so that this situation doesn't happen. Does it happen occasionally? Yes. And I know if I see them, I run outside and say, they can't unload here, but again, which my counterparts have already told you, that it's independence. Years ago, like with General Motors, it used to be one company, Anchor Motor Freight, the delivery person. Now it could be Joe's Wrecking. They just hire anybody to do that. And, it'd be, I'm assuming you'll send out a bylaw copy or something like that, because maybe what I would suggest is that once we have some type of document, that we can forward it to as many of the major carriers that we have, so at least that they have something on record.
It's a great idea.
So that they see that we did that, because otherwise it is kind of by chance that somebody just sees somebody and asks them to go out. Because once they get the rails off, I can tell you that they're not going to listen to us. They might listen to the police, but they're not going to listen to us.
Well, that's a good idea, the one that you have relative to posting a notice, sending it, that is to say, to the main carriers. And we appreciate all the work that you've done in terms of making it more, easier to unload off the road.
Right.
That's great. That helps us because it does resolve some of the issues, and there are some safety issues associated
Absolutely.
with that.
We find it not only for ourselves and our customers, but if they're parked out there, if somebody's trying to get out on 44, that's the biggest problem, because you can't see beyond that.
Yep.
So, we're very, very conscious of that.
That's great. All set,
Any other input?
Mr. Chair.
While I've got your attention, could I just bring up one other thing? And it kind of heads into the same thing as in regards to Brookside Circle. We on that road down there have attempted to try to make it so that it gets, the potholes get filled in and everything. As you know, or maybe you don't know, because Selectmen Platt had tried to push this along for us years ago. That road was a development, and the developer went out of business. The town picked up the performance bond that has that money. Who knows, it's been a long time. But nothing has been done to take that money from the performance bond to finish the road. If it was the opposite situation and it was an individual, obviously the town would be all over us to try to finish whatever it was or use. That's the idea of the performance bond, is to take that money to finish the road. I know it's going to be more money than what the performance bond amount is, because it's been, I think it goes back into the 90s when this happened. But it's a hazard. Some people don't want to go down that road because of the fact that it's like a dirt road now because they haven't finished the blacktopping yet. And so, and certainly with the trucks, and it's an industrial park, so most of the time it is trucks that are going down that particular road down there. So if you could just look into it, see if some way that they can advance that cost.
We have looked into that in the past. The town has never accepted that road. We are aware of the performance bond, and in past years, we've offered to put that up to the occupants of Brookside Circle, and they would have to finish it the rest of the way. We never accepted that road, so we have no obligation to finish that road. But the performance bond is still there. I believe it's about $50,000, and we would make that offer again, I believe.
So why we haven't accepted the road? I mean, is there some type of precedent that you don't accept the road?
We don't have to accept any roadway in Raynham if the conditions aren't met, and the conditions weren't met on that road.
Okay.
The condition.
I was never aware that you offered up the money to you.
Oh, yes, on multiple occasions. But we're not in a position where we get very reduced Chapter 90 money to finish a roadway that wasn't accepted when we have other priorities out there, so.
Because you do plow it.
We do plow it, yeah.
Okay.
I can-
Realize that you offered.
Randy, Jeff?
Yeah, I'll refer to, talk to Roger, because Roger was involved. We'll get back to you on that. I believe they're right. I think the number is 50,000 is what we've got in that performance bond, which is not nearly enough really to finish the road the way it should be finished, but maybe we can make a dent in, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Nice to see you, Rick. Have a good holiday.
You too.
Yeah, bye-bye.
We have a new business. We had scheduled the appointment for the vacancy to the Sewer Commission. I believe Mr. Dolan was going to utilize the new laws of telecommunicating with us.
Yeah.
Mr. Shivo, I didn't know if you
Yep.
wanted to.
No, the intent had been to vote to appoint a replacement for the position on the commission, which was obviously is vacant because of the untimely death of Bill Nickerson. But inasmuch, Mr. Chair, that Marie Smith, one of the board members, is not here today, I would like to recommend that we table that decision until she's here and has a chance to vote for the appointment as recommended by the Sewer Commission.
I would second that motion. Do you propose 2 weeks, perhaps?
That would be fine.
Okay.
That would be good. I would propose that and make that motion.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Randy, if we can make sure that the tabling of that for 2 weeks is noted. Noted. Town Administrator's report, Mr. Buckner.
New Year's Day is next Tuesday, so there'll be no board meeting, of course, and the next meeting will be January 8th, and I assume that, not quite 2 weeks, but that's the date for that, reschedule that. On the accounting clerk position, yourself, myself, and the town accountant, David Grab, will be interviewing some of the applicants later this morning.
Well, speaking of
The chairman is here.
The chairman is here.
Do you want us to?
Just don't move,
Okay.
you can stay right there and just talk from the other end.
We're just wrapping up.
Thank you.
On the,
You're looking good.
on the wiring inspector, we do have a vacancy now in the alternate or assistant wiring inspector because of the promotion of Bob Sett to wiring inspector, so I assume we want to open that up for applicants.
Yeah, we can post that.
Post it.
Closing, end
Yes.
end of January, perhaps?
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay. Planning and Economic Development Director, that position has been re-advertised, and the due date is January 15th. Tag days, we have a Tag Day Summit every year, and this one will be January 15th for all Raynham nonprofit groups to get their dates in. And negotiations, OPEIU, January 22nd at 10 a.m.
Thank you, Mr. Buckner. Any questions?
No questions.
Okay. Selectmen's report, Mr. Shivo.
None today.
Mrs. Smith.
Actually, I really don't have much, except thank you for everybody for all the cards and good wishes.
We're glad to have you back.
Thank you very much, I appreciate that. Did I miss anything at this meeting?
No, it was very, very brief. We, well,
I'll tell you.
we,
We had intended, Marie, to vote on the appointment for the replacement of the vacant position at the Sewer Commission, you know, due to Bill Nickerson's
Yes.
untimely death. But we just tabled it in view of the fact that you're just getting back into this, and we've rescheduled it for 2 weeks from
weeks out.
today. So that'll
Excellent.
give you a chance to kind of get into.
Okay, thank you very kindly for doing that,
Sure.
appreciate it.
no problem. Seeing no community or citizen input or press time, any emergency business?
None, Mr. Chair.
What is the board's
None.
pleasure?
Make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.